Welcome to the draw for round two of the Fantasy League tournament. Just to give people a chance to join, because the link is there, but it might take a few people a while to join. I will be posting this video afterwards for anyone that misses it. But here's the draw, and I've got Dad in as a witness, so he knows that I'm not cheating. He's seen this tested, and this was a test draw that I've just done. So like James Cronkhorn against Graham Hall, Ilka Pentila against Frankie Durham, and so on. I'm just going to remove these now, and we'll redraw those in a moment. I'm just going to quickly, though, go through the leagues as they stand right now. So game 9 in game week 10, as you can see in the bottom left of the screen that I'm sharing at the moment. We've got all the winners on the highlighted in green, all the losers highlighted in red, so you can see who's won and who's lost, and what the table looks like. So Kay Waters, my mum, has won 5 in a row. And it looks like wins for Kim Fong twice in a row as well. Stephen Towers and Chris Parvin not in the best of form at the moment, so they're hanging on to a bit of a tight lead there. In the championship, see the same thing. I've been beaten hollow, 70-60, beaten convincingly by James Shepherd there, Jamie Shepherd. And last week as well, over here on the right,
levels, that is.
Yeah, on the right here you can see it was Liam Frost winning there a couple of times in a row, actually, because he's beaten me as well. Ross McDonald beating me, so I'm really not doing well at the moment. I'm 10th in the table. Ian and Liam extending their lead at the top, although Craig has now taken advantage of a couple of defeats for Ibrahim in 3rd, so he's dropped down to 4th. League 1. We've got Bob Douglas returning to the top of the league. You can see on the league position after each game table, he was there around game week 3, but he's now back at the top again. And just below him as well, both the teams that were in 1st and 2nd, Simon and Stephen there, have lost, which is why he was able to take advantage of that. A few wins for players that are a bit further down the table as well. Archie Walker dropping points, so that could all tighten up towards the top now. In fact, at the moment, there are only 7 points between 1st and 8th. So a nice tight one there, as the actress said to the Bishop. League 2, we've got Ashley Birchall, top of the league, Finn in 2nd, as has been the case for the last 3 weeks in a row, as you can see there. Finn and Reed on equal points at the moment. And finally, a win for Steve Beggs. He was the last person to not have a win in the entire Toontalk Fantasy League structure. So a good win for Steve Beggs. As you can see in the bottom left there, that was against 3rd place Reed Huntington. So points dropped there. We've been joined by Ellie on my dad's video there, as you can see. National League 1. We've got John Thomas at the top of the league, his 5th win in a row and 6 unbeaten, also 5 in a row for Ross Percy. That is now the record for wins in a row after Liam Frost lost in the championship this week. And also in National League 4, you can see Matthew Pike's 6-game winning streak came to an end. He's lost this week as well. So back to National League 1, we've got John Thomas, Ross Percy, we've got Andrew Barks at the bottom of the league, unfortunately 5 defeats in a row there. National League 2, Sam Benton, 5 in a row. He's ahead of Ben Harper by a point, who's on shaky form at the moment, seems to alternate between winning and losing. Mike Waters, unfortunately, bottom of that division, looks like relegation looms for Mike. National League 3, Colin Westbroom still doing well, 2nd in the league there, but Joshua Leanne hasn't lost since game week 4 and has won 8 out of the 9 league games so far, including this most recent one. He beat Stuart Latimer by only 2 points, so really close there. Stuart in 6th with that defeat there. It's just a bit of a shame, because it looked like he was just turning it around last week. Peter Christie, bottom of the league, I'm afraid 5 defeats in a row. And then National League 4, the aforementioned Matthew Pike, losing his 1st game in 7, which means Gokula Manikam, who was leader earlier on in the league, has shortened the gap to 6 points. We've got Ilka and Shade snapping at the heels of Gokula though, and looking to mount a title challenge if it's not too late, which it shouldn't be. 9 games into the season. Frankie Durham, only 2 wins so far this season, and bottom of the league. Jonathan McGrath is holding on to 9th place as well, having lost 4 in a row, so not great for him either. But that's the leagues as they stand. In the cup, I mean, this has already been reported on, so this is just a quick reminder that we're on round 2 of the cup. And if I go back over to the schedule, all of this is read-only, accessible to everyone. By the way, there is a link in the chat in here, I think. In fact, that might have disappeared, but there will be one posted as well. So this is all of the rounds that have gone so far. You can see it here that game week 12 will contain round 3 of the cup and round 2 leg 1 of the tournament. So we've got game week 10 is the one just gone, 11 coming up. Deadline is 4th of November there, and game week 12, 11th of November is when the cup and tournament games will take place. So yeah, you can see all of these by just clicking the link to the spreadsheet. But that's everything recapped from the leagues. Nothing's happened in the cup for a few weeks now, so I'll go on to the tournament draw. We've got pot 1 is this top left section here, just separated by these pink lines. So this is all the group winners, and I can scroll up here, but I won't go too far up. You can see all of the groups if you go on the spreadsheet yourselves. They will be accessible through the website eventually as well. It's just not that, that's still in development at the moment. But for now, it's just this video. So we've got pot 1 there. Pot 2 is all the second place players. Pot 3 is all the third place players that made it. And the table of third place players is over here. So it was these top 16 that go through. Unfortunately, these bottom 8 here go out, as do the people that came last in the group. If you don't see your name on here at all, that means you did come last in the group, and yes, that includes you, I'm afraid. Right, so the draw for round 2 of the tournament shall begin now. I'm just going to try and make sure I've got the entire table in shot, as it were. So yes, you should be able to see that in its entirety now. Although I will have to start the function and then minimize that again. So processing the draw, going full screen. We're drawing the first fixture. So the first ball out of the pot is ball number 18. That's Ashley Birchall. He was the winner of Group 18. And he will play number 50, Graham Clark. Graham Clark is currently in League 1, so that's League 2 versus League 1 in that fixture. Next up, it's number 24, John Davidson. He will play against number 60, Sam Benton. Sam Benton, who is flying high in National League 2. Next fixture we have number 6, Lee Riley, winner of Group 6. He is currently in National League 2. He'll play against, he's in League 2. He'll play against David Bell, who's in National League 2. Match number 4 is Ian Garrett, ball number 14, from National League 4. He'll play against Enda McGuane, who is playing against Dad in the tournament. Winner plays against me or Lee Girdlestone in the tournament. So a couple of big games there for Enda McGuane to get into the next round of both competitions. Next fixture, we have number 13, Mark Robson, from National League 1. He will play against Matthew Pike. Just lost his winning streak, but can he get it back in time for the cup game? He's got another week to go before then. But Matthew Pike, number 54, who finished 3rd in Group 2, he will play against Mark Robson, winner of Group 13. Next fixture, we have Finn Nilsson, one of our Swedish contingent. He's ball number 2. He'll play against number 53, Lee Petty. That's Finn Nilsson, winner of Group 2, against Lee Petty, who was 3rd place in Group 19. Game 7 will be ball number 1, Greg Surtees, also flying high, him in National League 1. He'll be playing against Dan Potter, ball number 62, who was winner of 3rd place in Group number 11. We've then got Richard Harrison, ball number 22, against number 58, Dean Hadfield, who beat me in the league not long ago. Game 9 is number 12, Darryl Coombs, against number 56, Dubai Mickey. Dubai Mickey, by the way, while I'm here, is one of those that I can't tag on Facebook because I think you're known under a different name. If anyone who isn't taggable on Facebook because their name is different on here could let me know who they are via Facebook or some other means, that'd be great. By the way, you can email me at rob@toontalk.uk to let me know. That would be really useful for just getting in touch with people in case they win things. Game number 10. Number 21, Ryan Jensen, will play number 63, one of our admins, Ross McDonald, from the Championship. So that's National League 3 against Championship. It really matters more where they are in the league and whether they won their groups at the moment, though, of course, because the divisions were chosen just on the order of who joined. They don't actually have a hierarchy at the moment until probably next season. So it's not so much a giant killing, but Ross McDonald there, only third in his group. So it is the teams on the left at this beginning part of the draw who are expected to win, having done well in the tournament so far. Game 11, we've got number 5, winner in Group 5, Callum Henderson. He'll play number 55, Shade Hartline, or so-called Geordie as he's known on Twitter. He's ball number 55 and he was third place in Group 18. Number 15, Paul Riley, will play number 51, my mum, Kay Waters, who was third in Group 9. Both in the Premier League, though, Paul Riley and Kay Waters there, so that'll be an interesting matchup. Ilka Pentilla in National League 4 will play against Graham Hall of the Premier League. Well, it's Ilka who's done better in the tournament so far. Graham Hall only third place in his group. Number 9 is Simon Morton. He'll play against number 64, Frankie Durham. That's League 1 versus National League 4. Then we have Jack Robson, ball number 16, winner of Group 16. From League 2, will play against Ben Harper, ball number 57, from National League 2. So that, I believe, is all of pot 3 drawn. Is that 16 I've got? Let me just check. That is 15, so there is in fact one more, sorry. And that's Roy Parkinson, ball number 4, against number 49, Kieran O'Toole. Yeah, and I believe that is everyone from pot 3. So that's all of the third place finishers in the groups up against group winners. So the second part of the draw, this will be where pot 2 comes into it. The remaining group 1, or pot 1, sorry, the remaining pot 1 competitors will be now drawn against pot 2 competitors. The first fixture being number 38, Reed Huntington. 38, yeah, so second in Group 14 up against number 8, Iftikhar Hussain, who was the winner of Group 8. Next fixture is number 29, Johnny Headley. Second in Group 5, playing against number 19, winner of Group 19, Chris Abbott. Number 36, James Shepherd. James was second place in Group 12. Will play against Les Anderson, who was the winner of Group 11. Gokula Malcolm will play against David Morton. That's runner-up in Group 4 against the winner of Group 17, David Morton. We've then got number 47, David Osgothorpe, who was second in Group 23, up against Stephen Wallace, who was a Group 3 winner. Game 22 is David Munro, who I ran into in the Brandon Villa the other night. He's number 33. He's up against James Cronkhorn. So that's David Munro, who was second in Group 9 against James Cronkhorn. Sorry, that's wrong. James Cronkhorn is, yes, sorry, winner of Group 20 against David Munro, second in Group 9. That is right. Bob Douglas won his group. No, he didn't. He came third in his group. I do apologise. It's against John Thomas. Bob Douglas used to run the fantasy league as well, so good to see him doing well in the league. He's back to the top of his division, which is League 1. Then we've got game 24. Riley Hill will play against Joshua Lian, who is only a couple of defeats at the top of his division. Riley Hill, who was second in Group 24, will play against Joshua Lian, winner of Group 23. We've then got number 43, Jonathan Adamson, who was second place in Group 19, against Ian Thurgold, who was second place in Group 22. This is all second places against each other now. Here's me out of the hat. I finished second in my group, and I'm playing against Yin Mo. Okay, guitarists against each other. That's interesting. Yin Mo doing quite well in League One as well. I think he's 4th or 5th. Then we have Liam Frost, second in his division. Good winning streak for him at the moment. He's up against Peter Thompson. Right, and then we've got Colin Westbroom up against Ross Percy. That's Group 31, Group 7. Colin Westbroom against Percy of Group 21. We've got Sue Kinghorn, number 41. She'll play against Ibrahim Halawi. PK Curry, ball number 44, that is, who was Group 20 runner-up, against Stephen Towers, currently ruling the Premier League. He is the Group 13 runner-up. 2 more to go. We've got Robert Hutchinson against Andrew Young, 40 versus 27. And then the final draw, both from Group 2, we got Craig Purvis, runner-up from Group 2, against Chris Parvin, who is runner-up in runner-up in Group 11. So that's all of the draws, which you'd now be able to see. If you do log on to the spreadsheet, they're all on down this left-hand side here. You'll be able to see who's playing who. And it is, in round 3, it'll be Game 1 winner versus Game 2 winner, then Game 3 winner versus Game 4 winner, and so on. I've stacked them so that we've got a first and third will play a second v second, so it's nice and spread out, and we shouldn't get people from the same group playing each other until later on in the competition, hopefully. But that's it. That's the entire draw. So just so that you can see it again, we've got Ashley Birchall versus Graham Clark, John Davidson versus Sam Benton, Lee Riley versus David Bell, Ian Garrett versus Enda McGuane, Mark Robson versus Matthew Pike, Finn Nielsen versus Lee Petty, Greg Surtees versus Dan Potter, Richard Harrison versus Dean Hadfield, Darryl Coombs versus Dubai Mickey, Ryan Jensen versus Ross McDonald, Callum Henderson versus Shade Hartline, Paul Riley versus Kay Waters, Ilka Pentila against Graham Hall, Simon Morton versus Frankie Durham, Jack Robson versus Ben Harper, Roy Parkinson versus Kieran O'Toole, Reed Huntington versus Iftikhar Hussain, Johnny Headley versus Chris Abbott, James Shepherd versus Les Anderson, Gokulu Manikam against David Morton, David Osguthorpe against Stephen Wallace, David Monroe versus James Cronkhorn, Bob Douglas versus John Thomas, Riley Hill versus Joshua Lian, Jonathan Adamson versus Ian Thurgold, me versus Yin Mo, Liam Frost versus Peter Thompson, Colin Westbroom versus Ross Percy, Susan Kinghorn versus Ibrahim Halawi, PK Curry versus Stephen Towers, Rob Hutchinson versus Andrew Young, and finally Craig Purvis versus Chris Parvin, CPO2 versus CPO1. So that's the entire draw. Thanks, Dad, for tuning in. There wasn't anyone else, but the video will be going up shortly. And if anyone wants to see the result of the draw, you can do that by logging on to the either the spreadsheet or the website. Links will be in the comments on this video.